Welcome to the Little League World Series, Great Lakes Regional Game 2 of Day 1. It is a border war tonight, Indiana and Kentucky. One game already played in the Great Lakes earlier today, and it was one-sided as Michigan hit a couple of first-inning homers and had very little problem winning its game by a score of 7-2 over West Dundee of Illinois and the Tri-Cities. Welcome back to ESPN's coverage of the Little League World Series. Jim Barber and John Gregory. These two teams tonight are separated by less than 20 miles. A lot of these teams have played against each other in traveling league baseball. So, John, based on that, what can we determine for tonight?
Well, I don't know how much we can determine about that, but we do know the coaches have played against each other, the players have, and interesting enough, next year these guys will play with each other, so I think some bragging rights go a long way tonight.
And they probably know each other's tendencies just a little bit. Now, this is a modified double elimination tournament, and that means that 6 teams are participating in the Great Lakes, and 4 of them, John, will be around for single elimination by Thursday. 2 of them will be eliminated.
Yeah, and a good format here, I think, and to get off to a good start, we've seen teams that score first quickly, get out to that lead, and typically win. So winning that first game is so important, and you can see field size, some changes, 6-inning ball game, changes to the bats this year. So rules have changed a bit, but the contest is the same. Win that first one, get that lead, and stay out of that loser's bracket.
That's a good subject to talk about as we go along in our 2-hour plus broadcast tonight. First pitch at 8:05 Eastern, 7:05 Central. Lots of signs in the stands. Big one matchup tonight between Kentucky and Indiana.
Right foot, left stop. Left foot, left stop. Charlie Brown. Up left now. Slide to the right. Slide to the left. Take it back now, y'all. Shot now, y'all. Turn it out. To the left. Take it back now, y'all.
Still plenty of sunshine on this beautiful diamond. We'll be that way till about 9 o'clock tonight, another hour, as we get set for baseball. And on the mound for Kentucky, Bennett Holdener, who throws a lot more strikes than balls, and that certainly pleases his manager, John, and Jeremy Pierman.
Now, anytime you see that, 75, 80% strikes for this young kid on the mound. Fastball, curveball, changeup for him. As we get ready to get started in this thing, that's what you want, a guy on the mound that's going to throw strikes early. The teams that we've seen have had success so far are guys that throw strikes and teams that throw strikes.
Especially early in the game. Luke Kruger will lead off. He's in left field. He's a last-second replacement, at least in terms of the batting order, for Maxwell Alexander, who's a bit under the weather tonight. He may play or he may not. And on 2 pitches already, Indiana with a base runner as Kruger is hit.
Well, interesting enough, just when we talk about guys throwing strikes out there, a little bit different animal here. You go through the districts in the state, certainly there's some pressure, but you step up here, you know you're one tournament away from the World Series, and boy, things get a little bit tougher out there on the mound.
Cole Hewitt showing bunt. Cole batting in the second position. He is the center fielder for Indiana. Coltrane at the plate. By the way, John, he informs us through his bio that a guy got his left side cut off, but he's all right now. Get it? Left side cut off?
Got it.
Okay.
Okay, that's
I
good. I think that was the best one you've had all day.
I'm working on them. These kids are very clever with their nicknames and their favorite sayings and their jokes. Cole stands at even 5 feet. Has a count of 2 balls and a strike and awaits the pitch from Mr. Holdener. Now 2 balls and 2 strikes. Earlier today, Minnesota 4, Missouri nothing. North Dakota 15, Nebraska 1. And in our third game today, it was 7-2 Michigan against Illinois. Still haven't had a tight one yet. Maybe tonight will be different. 1 out in the first. Good pitch on 2-2.
I mentioned upper 60s with that fastball, a strike throw on the mound, and he gets the outside corner there for the strikeout.
Here's number 5 hitting in the third position, Jack Bile. Umpires tonight, Jeff Shovels at first base, John Budnick at second, John Chirilla at third, and Kevin Southall is the home plate umpire. Towards short, double play ball, inning over. Well done by Jake Schweitzer. Steps on the bag at second, doubles up the hitter at first. Indiana gets its leadoff hitter aboard, but fails to score. Kentucky's first crack at the plate in a moment. Oh, that was effective. 9 pitches.
Yeah. It's
Chase Lush on the mound for Indiana through a complete game earlier this year versus Jeffersonville, and he can get the fastball clocked up to the mid-60s. John.
Yeah, you know what's interesting, his bio says he's a gentle giant unless he's on the mound dealing. And on that mound, as you mentioned, that fastball, upper 60s. He's got a good curveball and changeup as well. So he's going to go after these hitters right away. But the gentle giant on the mound and Lush.
Sam Pierman threw one into center field as they were trying to hit the cutoff to throw around the infield and almost tagged one of his infielders. Everybody's okay, though. And here's the shortstop, Jake Schweitzer, to lead off the Kentucky first. Bennett Holder bats second, then Ben Brunick third. Sam Pierman in cleanup. Ethan Dillon picks up the 5 spot, followed by Owen Rafferty, James Cameron, Evan Beckman, and Matthew Holdner. Base coaches for Kentucky are Rick Beckwith at third base, Keith Dillon at first. The manager, Jeremy Pierman, is in the dugout. High bounce to shortstop. Nice play. Wasn't easy, but Cody Jackson played it correctly. 1 out.
Boy, he got caught in between there on the short hop, and that decision made off the bat, very difficult to do. Watch this as he gets the short hop here. You want it to be the real short hop or you stay back on it, but as small as this field is down the first baseline, good speed with Schweitzer. He was able to make the nice throw. Good play by Jackson.
And when you talk to his dad, Brian Jackson, the manager, John, he says best thing about our team is the defense. As Bennett Holdener, the other pitcher, is tagged with a pitch, and he'll go to first base with 1 out. This Indiana team has made only 2 errors throughout their entire games in both district and state.
Kentucky left fielder, 22.
Well, having a good defense out here, as we've seen over the last few years, it goes a long way in helping you win championships. It's about pitching and defense.
This is BB at the plate. Ben Brewing toward first base. And the out at second is recorded on a diving catch, and that wasn't easy by Cody Jackson. So 2 outs now in the first. Couldn't tell initially, John, if he had his foot on the bag, but I don't see a protest being offered, at least not yet.
Wow, Cody Jackson again. Another nice play there as Blaine Hamilton at first base gets the ball in a hurry, and I think he does have his foot on. Yeah, clearly he does. And for Jackson, what a play that is. Don't worry about the guy at first base. Just make that play. He does. 2 in a row for Jackson.
Yeah. Sam Pierman is the catcher. Batting cleanup. Wears number 1. He is the manager's son. Very vocal. Said the thing about the hymn that's most notable, and this in Sam's words, I have a loud voice. I'm also a very good talker. So that offsets it. Kentucky All-Stars from Louisville, Kentucky. Indiana's state champions from New Albany.
You can be a Kentucky Wildcat fan, huh? There in Louisville.
Oh, yes. There are a few of them. A few thousand. Runners down first and second on the walk to Sam Pierman. That'll bring up Ethan Dillon, the number 5 hitter in the Kentucky lineup, the second baseman.
For Kentucky, number 21, the second baseman, Ethan Dillon.
Allegedly, he's reading a book called Middle School, The Worst Years of My Life. Nickname Bugga, B-U-G-G-A. Owen Rafferty is in the on-deck circle. Each of the 3 teams that grab leads first in their games today won. Ben Brunig, the runner at second. Sam Pierman at first with 2 outs. Gavin Rand behind home plate, as Indiana had to make a defensive and offensive change prior to the game, with Maxwell Alexander a bit under the weather. Strike call, a ball and 2 strikes and 2 outs. 2 teams met last year in the regionals. It's a 1-0 game. And time called again. The 4th and final game of the day. Got him on a high fastball, inning over. Kentucky threatens, fails to score. To the Indiana second, Landon Gum, Cody Jackson, and Gavin Ray.
The home half of the first for Kentucky, no runs, no hits, 2 runners.
Well, let's take time to profile the city of New Albany, Indiana. No stranger to the regionals. Population under 37,000, 5 miles west of Louisville. Famous face, Fuzzy Zeller won the Masters nearly 40 years ago.
For the second for Indiana, the third baseman.
And Landon Gum will lead off the pride of New Albany here in the second for Indiana. Then it's Cody Jackson and Gavin Rand. No score in our game. Kentucky had a threat in the first, did not score. The winner of this game will get Ohio tomorrow. Toward third base. One out. James Cameron handles that for Kentucky, and here's Cody Jackson.
The Indiana shortstop, number 20, Cody Jackson.
Cody is the manager's son. Turned 13 years of age on July 7th. And this will be the final year we'll be mentioning 13-year-olds, John, because after this, nobody gets grandfathered in at that age. It's 12 years old and under. Popped up. Ethan Dillon, 2 outs.
I said it, pitching and defense. So far, we've seen some really good defense out here. Guys making the routine plays and other guys making some plays you don't expect out there, and that's what you need to win these ball games. Last year, as you said, close ball game in this first one between these two teams. Expect a lot of the same thing tonight.
Gavin Rand, the catcher, batting in the 6th position. Strike one. Left-handed batter against the right-handed throwing Bennett Holdener. And Gavin Rand's favorite athlete, Jackie Robinson. Tommy had a chance to see the movie on him entitled 42. Behind in the count, 2 strikes.
Went with fastball that time. Got him on 2 breaking balls and showed him the fastball. Let's see if he comes back curveball here.
It remains 1-2. For Indiana, Brian Jackson coaching at third. Dave Wall, Big D at first. On the bench, Nick Alexander. Pretty good at bat for Gavin Rand.
I'm going to say the same thing. Following that 2-strike pitch off. Just get a bat on the ball. Just foul it off. Live to get another pitch here. It's a gap-to-gap type of hitter there. Deep in center field is Holdener out there. Plenty of room in both gaps.
Inning over. Second strikeout for Bennett Holdener. For Indiana, 3 up and 3 down. Kentucky with Owen Rafferty, James Cameron, and Evan Beckman in its second.
Game total, 19.
Downtown Indianapolis, Monument Circle, nearing sunset. About 40 miles, 40 minutes or so away from the ballpark here at Grand Park in Westfield, Indiana. Jim Barber and John Gregory, at least the beginnings of pitcher's duel. And a 0-0 game as Kentucky sends up its 6, 7, and 8 hitters in the second. Lights are on here, John. Temperature remains a sizzling 85 degrees on a midsummer night.
Feels that way out here too, but that sun going down quickly going to start to cool things off here, and I don't think it's affected any of these fans, both sides of these stands are packed with supporters for both of these teams.
OR at the plate had stepped out for a moment, then stepped back in. The pitch was good to go, and it's ruled a ball if in fact it was called, and it was. Owen Rafferty, the Kentucky right fielder. Kentucky had to go extras to beat Warren County North in pool play prior to getting here to Indianapolis. And this Kentucky Little League All-Star team is deep, particularly pitching. Can go 7 if needed. Three balls now and a strike on Owen. They also go by the nickname Doug. You ask his manager why, John. He says, well, it just seems more of a macho type name. So there you go.
I got
OR's not tough enough. Huh?
OR's not tough enough, no. Doug is, though.
Doug will back you up a couple steps. Make you get on your heels. 3-2 pitch. And OR or Doug is aboard for Kentucky to start the second.
The Kentucky third baseman, number 19, James Cameron.
Daddy Longlegs coming to the plate. James Cameron, third baseman. Someday he says he wants to be a Major League Baseball general manager, and they said he has a baseball encyclopedia in his head. In fact, his ambition is to meet Theo Epstein of the Cubs and talk strategy, find out how he has done the rebuilding of the Chicago Cubs. Won the title in 2016.
Yeah, and you don't see it at that age very much, how he loves the history of the game. You know, they talk about that, and had an opportunity for the Baseball Hall of Fame, likes every part of that. So nice to know what you like early in your career. Maybe you can work toward that. Heck, we're all still up here trying to figure it out, right?
And here this kid has got it all set. Get a meeting with Theo, and he'll be on his way.
Yes.
I wouldn't doubt he might get it. Man at first, nobody out in the Kentucky second. Now a ball and 2 strikes. This is the opening round of the Great Lakes Regional. One game already played earlier today, won by Michigan over Illinois, and a couple of first inning homers, 7-2. One out in the second. And that is strikeout number 2 by Chase Lush.
Good fastball down in the count here.
Kentucky first baseman.
See, the catcher actually had to turn his glove over. As he gets a little bit older, he'll start framing a little bit more, give that umpire a better call. Sometimes you won't get that call when you turn that glove down. But really good location on that pitch.
Which leads us to Evan Beckman, the number 8 hitter in the Kentucky lineup, with a man aboard and 1 out. 0-2. Our coverage starts tomorrow, 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 Central, with Wisconsin and Michigan. And that's in the Great Lakes region. That'll be the first of 4 tomorrow as well. 0-2 pitch from Lush. Got the corner. 2 outs in the second. Pretty pitch.
location. Earlier in the day, we saw a lot of strikeouts on hard fastballs up in the zone. Now we're seeing a little bit different approaches. Another location down in the strike zone, this time working the corner.
Matthew Holdener, the number 9 hitter. Nicknamed Roadrunner. They say he can run like the wind. Little League Baseball, oftentimes the number 9 hitter can be as solid as the leadoff hitter. In the major leagues, you picture number 9 either as a pitcher in the National League or your weakest hitter in the American League. Headed towards short. Going a long way to throw. It's a beauty from Cody Jackson, who has a couple of assists here in the first 2 innings. So after 2, pretty good defensive battle so far. Chase Lush, the pitcher, leads off for Indiana when we head to the 3rd.
Second inning for Kentucky. No runs, no hits.
At short.
Yep.
You can swallow up third base.
Cody Jackson, he's the one that's made the play.
On to the top of the 3rd. Jim Barber, John Gregory. Nothing game in Indiana to the bottom of this lineup, starting with pitcher Chase Lush, then Blaine Hamilton and Brian Wall. And the fatheads are everywhere.
The 3rd inning for Indiana. Number 0, the pitcher, Chase Lush.
Neither team, as you saw with the scoring line, with a hit yet. Sun starting to set, as John mentioned earlier. This one headed to right field. And Indiana has its second base runner as Chase Lush leads off the 3rd. That will go as the first hit for either team.
That ball hit pretty hard off that right-handed bat. Beckman trying to get the glove down, not able to do it. Lush finds his way down to that first base bag, got a good contact.
Cooper Anderson is going to bat for Blaine Hamilton here for Indiana.
Is a special pinch runner, number 6, Maddox Culpepper.
And Maddox Culpepper will be the pinch runner.
23, Cooper Anderson.
Madman is his nickname, running at first. Strike 1. Twice a game, not more than one time an inning. A team can use a player who's not in the batting order as a special pinch runner for any offensive player, and a player may only be removed for a special pinch runner one time during the entire game. Right in front of the mound. Third base will field. Sacrifice effective. And so now Maddox Culpepper is in scoring position at second. Cooper Anderson's successful bunt.
The Indiana second baseman, number 9, Brian Wall.
We haven't seen a whole lot of that so far in this tournament. Sacrificing, moving guys over, playing small ball type stuff.
Number 9 hitter in the Indiana lineup is Brian Wall. And yet, John, you sense that both managers anticipate a low-scoring game and a tightly contested one, too. Therefore, the sacrifice becomes pretty important. Two-strike pitch with 1 out. Brian Wall stays alive. Brian Wall's dream job is to play for the Chicago Cubs. He's been to spring training to watch his favorite team. Cubs a 10-6 loser to San Diego today. Still lead the National League Central by game. Red Sox and Yankees underway tonight on ESPN from Fenway. Boston going for a 4-game sweep. Again, the 0-2. Well, twice and not by much. Brian Wall's hanging around.
Fighting it off. Seen that time. Just live to get another pitch. You'd never know what's going to happen here. So you got a guy out there at second base. Just get the ball in play.
He's doing a nice job of driving up Bennett Holder's pitch count right now. Through 2 innings, Holdner only threw 19 pitches. He has thrown 11 in the 3rd. And Brian Wall may be effectively wearing him out.
Yes. Doing a good job battling up there. Every pitch.
One of the courageous fans along the first base line and protected nicely by the screen. Had to back up a foot or two, even though the ball wasn't going to hit him. It's coming right at him. Once again, the 0-2. Indiana about to turn the lineup over to left fielder Luke Kruer. Holdner works quickly. On the changeup, Wall again barely getting a hold of it, but making contact.
Not fortunate for him that time. That ball came right off the plate. Caught him right in the corner of the eye and the helmet, it looked like. Take a look at it. Boom.
He's okay, ready to go again. Now 2 balls and 2 strikes. Brian Wall towards shortstop. Long throw to first, gets away. Runner around 3rd. Let's see if they send him. No, in fact, they'll hold him. So it's runners at 2nd and 3rd for Indiana with 1 out here in the 3rd. Going to be a tough play to begin with anyway, but the throw by Jake Schweitzer was in the dirt.
We're going to get a visit to the mound here, at least to try to slow things down on the defensive side of it here. You can see that ball hit. Shortstop got over in front of it. Schweitzer was able to get his body in front of it. Throw a little bit erratic over to the first base side, allowed the runners to move on.
Kentucky did a good job, John, of recovering in order to prevent first run from the game scoring. It's an error all the way on the shortstop. Runners at 2nd and 3rd with 1 out. Now we're in the 3rd inning of a 6-inning regularly scheduled game. It appears to be the potential of a low-scoring game. You're going to bring your infield in.
Yeah, you want to cut guys off at the plate here with 1 out. You're right. I mean, 6-inning ball game. You're halfway through this thing, so got to prevent that from going in. We'll see right now, but it doesn't look like Kentucky's making that decision. Looks like, well, that may change here as now as they get ready. They're going to play in on the corners and back in the middle infield, looks like.
Here's Luke Kruer. Short and 2nd back at a semi-normal spot. Now they're starting to sneak in a little bit. Maddox Culpepper, the lead runner at third. Brian Walls just reached on the air at second. Only one out. Towards center field and hit deep. That's going to score two. Luke Brewer around in the second base with a stand-up double. And he blasted it too.
Yep, they said he's the best athlete on the field at any given moment, and this was his moment here as he delivers it over the center fielder's head out there. Holden, a tall guy out in center field, thought he was going to have a chance for that. No chance at all, and 2-run score easily, and a big hit for Brewer out there at second base.
Cole Hewitt showing bunt. Strike one. So this inning began on a base hit. Cooper Alexander sacrificed the pinch runner, Maddox Culpepper, to second. Brian Wall reached on an error that put runners at second and third. And then Luke Brewer with a 2-run hit to deep center field. First runs of the game. And keep in mind, whoever has scored first on day one has won. Cole Hewitt struck out in the first inning. Left-handed batter who favors golfer Phil Mickelson. On the change, waves and misses. So he's out on 3 pitches, 2 outs in the inning for Jack Bile.
You get the feeling when you watch this, it's, as you said before, low-scoring type of game. You know, pitching and defense in this thing, a key hit there, able to pick up a couple RBI, and you know that's what it may take in this thing tonight.
Indiana with an opportunity to add to it. Jack Bile takes the changeup, grounded into a shortstop to first base double play. Back in the first inning. Headed to center field. Runner around third, they're going to send him. He's going to score 3-0. Indiana, and a 2-out hit by Jack Bile.
Jim, remember we said get the ball in play somehow, some way. Well, the biggest part of the bat did not get on the ball that time. It looked like it got in on his hands, but Bile able to fight it off. See that ball inside, fights it off, and it gets up through the middle. And because of that, another run on the board for them. But that's fisted out to center field. Do whatever you can. Just make contact and put some pressure on the defense.
Yeah, we've had enough games today where walks have been a factor. Not this one. Certainly not in Michigan's win, in which Grosse Pointe Shores Woods hit a couple of home runs over the fence in the first inning. Little power, little finesse hitting, and Indiana leads 3-0 here. Landon Gum grounded out third to first in the second. Kentucky will send up the top of its order in the third. And that's it. But Luke Brewer comes through with a 2 RBI double to center field. That made it 2-0 Indiana. And then Jack Bile came through with a base hit to center field. It's a 3-run third for New Albany.
We knew the Little Leaguers would be excited to meet the big leaguers and their heroes. This is something they will never forget.
All 16 teams have gathered here to see a big league game. And Bell cranks one. First pitch gone. A diving
leaguers would be excited to meet the big leaguers and their heroes. This is something they will never forget.
All 16 teams have gathered here to see a big league game. And Bell cranks one. First pitch gone. A diving catch.
And this year, the big leaguers will be on hand when the Mets play the Phillies, as the sun is about to set nicely here in Westfield, Indiana. Temperatures cooled off just a bit as we start the Kentucky third with the leadoff hitter, Jake Schweitzer.
You know, Jim, I bet if you ask the big leaguers, I think that game is as much fun for them as it is the little leaguers.
Certainly.
You know, get to play in front of them, and it's almost like, hey, you know, I made it. And they remember those days, so I bet you those guys get chills having a chance to play in front of the little leaguers.
Well, it's a valid point. You consider they play 162 games, as this one is a high hop to the pitcher. Plenty of time to throw him out, though. Chase Lush does exactly that, one out in the third. 162-game Major League schedule. Nothing too special about a number of the games, but that would be.
Yep, I think so. Anytime you're going to play a little bit different, especially when you tie it to that, because the big leaguers know how important it is to these kids out here because they were there. They played there before, so it's important for them to show off a little bit in front of them.
Little League International telling us a couple of weeks back in a conference call that the number of hits when it came to the Major League game was off the chart. The interest in Little League at that point had more than quadrupled. And so why not bring it back? The Mets, when they started this year, a lot of people thought that was a playoff team. Now it's the Phillies and the Braves battling for the NL East. Bennett Holdner was hit by a pitch in the first. Ben Brunig is scheduled to follow. Indiana 3, Kentucky nothing. Bottom of the third. Down the third base line, and that is foul. Well, complete shade right now. Lights have been on for about 30 minutes. Kind of a breather for all these fans who were baking here an hour or two ago. 2 outs in the third. Fourth strikeout for Chase Lush. Sorry, John.
I was just going to say, you were saying, as we take a look at this pitch, look at the location. The catcher setting up to the outside there. Maxwell Alexander, and Lush does a good job of hitting that target. And at 33 pitches here, going to have a discussion out on the mound.
Well, what Brian Jackson sees at this point that we would not be aware of, John?
Yeah, I'm not sure, unless they were just going to talk about Brunig, the hitter at the plate, but not sure exactly why he'd make that visit. As you see the numbers on the mound, he can go 35 pitches, so he could actually start against this hitter. Oh, he's at the 35th pitch right now, so the decision was to keep him in there.
Unless things have gotten out of hand, no manager so far in the first 4 games has yanked the pitcher with a lead.
Yep.
At least not early.
And I don't think you do it in this situation here. 3-0 lead. You want to stay with this guy out on the mound. He's been doing a fantastic job for you so far.
2 2/3 innings, is not allowed to hit yet. Walked a couple and hit a batter. Diving stop at second base. That'll be the first hit of the game. Fine play by Brian Wall. Unable to throw out Ben Browning, but a nice play by Wall nonetheless. And Kentucky has a base runner and its first hit.
Boy, how about this middle infield for Indiana? What a play by Brian Wall as he goes diving for that one, prevents it from going into center field, and that's a big-time play there. Cody Jackson, Brian Wall, middle infielders.
To the pitcher, tough play at first. Ball gets away. Runner around third, and they're going to hold him, so it'll be first and third for Kentucky now with 2 outs in the third. So a couple of infield grounders. Nothing's reached the outfield, and Kentucky's got it going here.
Well, kind of a swinging bunt here. Lush off the mound, fields this cleanly. You want to make sure you throw it inside toward the infield side of that. That ball seemed to get away from Lush and kind of dropped it down, and now they get runners at first and third.
And a chance for Ethan Dillon. Strike one. It's ruled an error. I imagine it's on Chase Lush. Either way, first and third. Indiana now in a jam. Kentucky, how about this? Maybe deflected by Lush to Cody Jackson, inning over. Hit hard, but Kentucky fails to score. Halfway through game 4, right now it's all Indiana, 3-0. Be on the outfield, somebody getting a little extra work there. The Little League Grow the Game grant has distributed over $2 million at the local level. Grant funding provides local Little Leagues resources for general improvement and to expand or establish softball challenger division and urban initiative programs. For more info, visit littleleague.org/grow the game. Start the Indiana fourth with shortstop Cody Jackson, who made that fine play at the end of the third. And by the way, upon further review, as they say in the NFL, the ball did not hit pitcher Chase Lush, as I described. Took a fortuitous bounce, though, and right in the hands of Jackson, who now has figured in 4 outs for the first 9 outs for Kentucky in this game. It's a good-looking shortstop.
Yeah, he's been as solid as any defensive player we've seen so far in the Midwest or Great Lakes region.
His dad, manager Brian Jackson, says third and, or rather short and second, the strength of the infield. Along with the catching position of Sam Pierman. And to this point, through 3 innings, pitching's not bad either.
No, what do they say? You want to be strong up the middle.
Yes.
No, they are.
That one was headed to center field, which would have scored Kentucky's first run. Winner of this game gets Ohio tomorrow afternoon. And the loser gets a day off and will play in an elimination game on Tuesday. John, good hands back here. I know you were ready to.
I had it.
Great reaction. You haven't lost anything. Ball 2 strikes as we start the top of the 4th. And it's a strike him out, throw him out. Back-to-back strikeouts now for Bennett Holdener.
Holdener with a nice breaking ball there, getting Jackson to reach out. If you do hit it, you're not going to hit it very hard here, as you see the breaking ball outside off the plate. Pierman doing a nice job of preventing that ball from going to the backstop.
Maxwell Alexander will pinch hit. Didn't get a chance to start today because of the way he was feeling. 50 pitches so far for Bennett Holdener. John, updating your Red Sox and Yankees, no score, bottom second. That'll be it for Ben Holdener. 39 of his 50 pitches were for strikes. And Daley Pennick will come on to pitch for Kentucky. We will tell you about him upon our return. Daley Pennick now on the mound. In relief of Kentucky starter Bennett Holdener. Stands 5'5", 120. One of a number of pitchers, John. Part of a deep pitching staff for Kentucky.
Yeah, maybe even a deeper with this kid, because they say every pitch he delivers, none of them are the same, regardless if he's throwing the same pitch. They said it all looks a little different to him, and he can be nasty out on the mound.
Almost like he has a major league IQ already.
Yeah.
Maxwell Alexander didn't feel well enough to start, but he's in the game right now. His Indiana team has a 3-0 lead. All 3 runs were scored in the third.
There's a look at him on the mound. You can see that ball looked like it almost knuckled a bit up there to the plate, or not a whole lot of spin. So maybe you don't blow it by people, but you change the speed up and down location-wise. But for him, I think it's throw one a little harder, a little softer, even if it's with the fastball.
Come on a grounder to first. It goes unassisted to the previous pitcher, now first baseman Bennett Holdener. There are 2 outs in the fourth.
I think there was another example there. That was the same fastball, but he dropped down to the side a bit. So that's what makes him special on the mound. You never see the same thing twice. As a hitter, you get used to that location where they release the ball, and with him, he'll give you some different looks.
That's pretty impressive at this age, don't you think?
I think so.
Indiana's already used 1 pinch hitter in the inning, likely to use another here, because everybody has to play. Team has 13 or 14 players. Each player's got to bat once. If it's 12 or fewer, must play 6 consecutive defensive outs and bat once. And the rest of mandatory play surrounds managers who must play everybody by the rule. The manager fails to do so, they're looking at suspension. Apparently happened out east within the last year or two, where a manager, in an effort to win a game, refused to make a substitution. In other words, he didn't play everybody. Said, I'll take the 2-game suspension, or whatever the rule was at the time. And Little League said, you know what?
Can't have that.
Yeah, just because you're gambling with the idea that, hey, I'll win this game and take a break for a couple of days and still come back. Now the rule is you don't come back. Maddox Culpepper was a special pitch runner in the third, came around to score the first run for Indiana. Now he's at the plate. 2 outs and a 1-2 count. Good job by Daley Pennick in relief. So for Indiana in the fourth, it's up and down in order. Bottom of the Kentucky lineup in the bottom of the fourth.
Pitch count for Kentucky. Daley.
Indiana and Kentucky have dominated previous championships. Kentucky back-to-back in 15 and 16. And Indiana won the Great Lakes in 2014. Michigan trying to go back-to-back with a title this year.
Yeah, and they may argue with you. You said Indiana and Kentucky dominate. How about Michigan in there? And they've got a pretty impressive team that we saw earlier today.
You're right, John.
Yeah.
I don't think I read that graphic as well as I should have.
Well, no, those are the two teams we're focusing on today. But I'm telling you, I think that Michigan has a pretty good ball club to repeat maybe from what they did last year. But like the Great Lakes region.
Michigan with the 2 home runs today and a 4-run first. This is Jedediah Jed Hamilton at the plate. Trying to start it off for Kentucky in the fourth. Favorite player, Madison Baumgartner of the San Francisco Giants. By the way, Mike Scioscia calling it quits as the Angels manager at the end of the season. Won a title there. Did you know him at all in the Dodgers organization?
Yeah, I had an opportunity to meet him, and hate to see that. Longest tenured guy in, right? Major League Baseball now?
Yes.
As far as managers go?
Won a title when they rallied down 3-2 against the Giants. And in Game 6 in Anaheim, trailed 5-0 in that game before it forced a Game 7 and won the big one.
That rally monkey?
Yeah, good memory. Chase Lush, 4th inning of work, hasn't allowed a run. He has had a strikeout in every inning, giving him 5 now for the game.
Location, that one outside. Corner, just enough. 2 strikes, you got to try to protect the plate. Gets the strike call and gets the big out.
Ryan Marks will have a chance to pitch hit here in the number 7 slot. One out in the bottom of the fourth. .48 pitches so far. Very efficient game for pitcher Lush. On the hop toward third base. Well played. Throw over in time from Landon Gum. 2 outs.
How many times are you going to say that tonight? Whether it's the middle infielder, now corner infielder, and Landon Gum coming up with the nice play there and throws the strike to first base. And
Now batting for Kentucky, the pitcher, number 12.
Staying pressed,
Haley
keep
Pennick.
playing defense. Indiana's going to win a lot of games. You play that type of defense.
It is pretty easy to get impressed by home run hitting. There hasn't been much with a change in bats. And certainly with pitching, we saw a dominant performance to start with Mason Ohiser earlier today. But the defense by Indiana has been quite solid here in the fourth and final game of day one.
Yeah, and you love to see that too. That's what impressed me so much. I don't know, when we first came here a few years back now, on how good the defense was. It just really surprised me to see that type of play defensively. We're seeing a gem tonight.
It's a reason that New Albany's been here before and is here now. Well, if you had a chance to build a Little League All-Star game, where would you start? Would you start with the pitching or the defense or the hitting?
Well, I'd start with pitching. You got to have that. And you need not one, but you need, I think, 3 guys if you're going to go on to the World Series and have an opportunity. I think you need 3 guys that are going to strike people out and give you an opportunity to win games. Without that, I think you can have all the hitting you want, but you're going to face better pitching when you get to the World Series, so you're going to need those guys. You're going to need the arms yourself.
Haley Pennick reaches with 2 outs here in the fourth. So would defense be your second priority or hitting?
Well, once I had good question, but once I had those guys on the mound, you certainly need to find a way to get some runs, as we're going to see a change on the mound here as Lush does a fantastic job, gets a good hand by his supporters up in the stands.
Doesn't reach the 55 pitch limit. And right now he is looking, because he was at the 50 pitch limit, actually 53. If he started it under 50, it would be 2 days rest, correct?
You got it.
Jack Bile will come in to pitch now for Indiana. All the scoring happened in the third in a scoreless game. A hit, sacrifice, an error, and then the big 2-run blast by Luke Kruger clears the bases. 2-0 Indiana. Jack Bile comes through with an RBI hit to center, and that makes it 3-0. And as far as the scoring goes, that's where we stand. But Lush's pitching tonight had a lot to do with the effectiveness of Indiana. Good defense by Cody Jackson at short. And that's why Indiana right now working on a shutout with 2 outs in the fourth inning.
And you saw the pitch location there. It was fastballs. You could hear the catcher's mitt pop, and then got that last strikeout on the breaking ball. So all around the plate for him today, and a nice job. And now for Bile, after getting a big hit, driving in a run, now he's got an opportunity to try to hold this thing together for this Indiana team.
Has a fastball and a change that's most effective. He's a big Indiana basketball fan, so he's happy that Romeo Langford, top 3 pick in the country from the New Albany area, is headed to IU. But that's basketball. That's a few months down the line, and even though that's all Indiana people talk about all year long, we have baseball tonight. Alex Johnson at the plate for Kentucky with 2 outs here in the fourth. And a runner at first. Kentucky threatened in the first and in the third, failed to score. Little number toward first base. Pitcher to cover. Save! Now the runner headed to third, and nobody is there. And Kentucky will get its first run on a gift. Wow. As soon as we talk about how good Indiana was defensively, things kind of fell apart on that play.
Yeah, right. Just a mental mistake there. Kind of a mix-up. As we take a look at the play at first base, this was kind of a bang-bang play, and I think they get the call right. That was good hustle down the line by Johnson, and he gets there just in time and beats Hamilton to the bag. And then a wild throw over, nobody covering the bag. That allows the runner to come around and score.
It's an error on Blaine Hamilton, who made the throw. So a run in, runner at second with 2 outs, and outs 3-1 Indiana. So they're likely checking the play at first base to see if in fact the play could be reversed. That's what Indiana would hope for, and then the run would not count as would be an overrule.
Take a look at this here. Does he get his foot on the bag in enough time? I don't think so. I think the base runner just gets his toe on the bag first.
So Jack Bile was at first covering should the ball have been tossed to him.
Yeah, again, we've seen it a few times. That's that communication. Here's the call.
So Kentucky has its first run. Now up to Indiana to try to deal out of a jam. Tying run at the plate.
Back to the top of the Kentucky order, number 8, the shortstop.
Back to the leadoff hitter, Jake Schweitzer, is 0 for 2. Very capable of launching the long ball. No balls, 2 strikes. Jack Bile determined to get out of this inning. Does just that. Kentucky gets a run, but after 4, it's Indiana 3 and Kentucky 1.
Good
yeah. The lights in full force here at Grand Park in Hamilton County, Westfield, Indiana. Indiana 3-3-2. Kentucky 1-2-1. Started our coverage today at 10 Eastern. We'll do it again tomorrow and Tuesday as well. On to the Indiana 5th with a 3-1 lead.
Leading off the top of the 5th inning for Indiana, first baseman number 32, Blaine Hamilton.
Here's Blaine Hamilton to lead off. No rest for the winner. They're back tomorrow afternoon at 1 Eastern and noon Central. Loser will get the day off. Deep to left field and up against the fence. Left fielder slips. Hamilton around first into second with a stand-up double. Well, that might make him feel a little better, John, after the throwing error.
Well, when you look at his bio and what they say about him, he's really the most caring kid in the dugout, they said, so you know he cares about that error, but he delivers it out to left field here. This ball was ripped. This is the first ball all day that we've really seen yanked down that left field line. One hops it off the wall and gets into second base. And a big hit to lead this off for Indiana.
Cooper Anderson will be the special pitch runner.
Second base, number 23, Cooper Anderson.
He's in the middle of your picture, now full screen.
The second baseman, number 9, Brian Wall.
Brian Wall, the number 9 hitter. Let's see, he tries to move the runner along and try to get Indiana that run back that was gifted in the bottom of the 4th. Instead, a comebacker. Play at first as the runner is froze. 1 out. Good play by Daley Pennick.
It was. Pennick did not panic, and that's the key here. He gets the ball, he looks the runner back at second base. That's exactly what you're taught to do. Don't rush the throw over the first. Pennick throws a strike over there. Pennick gets the all-important out. Nice job defensively.
Nicely done, John. Not only in the replay, but Pennick did not panic. Back to the top of the order. Luke Kruer has the big 2-run hit in the third that started the scoring for Indiana. 6-inning game unless we go extras. Ball gets away, runner on the third base. So now Kentucky likely to bring the infield in, trying to prevent Indiana getting back to a 3-run lead. Count as a ball and a strike on Luke Kruer. Lukey toward third. They'll freeze the runner there. Throw it on first. Runner hung up. He's going to score. Well, unfortunately for Kentucky, the throw went back to third. Probably should have come home. That's exactly what the runner, Cooper Anderson, did, and it's 4-1.
Now kind of a stolen run here as you see the ground ball, lazy ground ball to third base. He again looks him back, make sure the runner's not going. Here's where the mistake was made as Holdener throws behind Anderson, the runner at third base. And anytime you throw behind a guy, they're going to take the extra base and a big important run scores.
So now it's 4-1 Indiana, and the road to success starts here.
Aiden Lehman.
Number 4, Aiden Lehman will bat in the number 2 position for Cole Hewitt. Two outs in the 5th inning. Indiana back to a 3-run advantage. Looking ahead to the Kentucky 5th. Middle of the lineup, and it's 2, 3, and 4 hitters. Lehman, a big fan of the becoming legendary Mike Trout. You know, some controversy developed when Commissioner of Baseball said that Mike Trout needed to do a better job, or maybe a more effective job, in developing his brand, to which, well, the old-timers of baseball said that really shouldn't be up to the player itself, instead Major League Baseball. Either way, Indiana fails to add to it, but right now did get a run in the inning. It is 4-1 on some nifty base running by Cooper Anderson. You can catch all the excitement of the Little League World Series including how to visit Williamsport. Scores, stats, highlights, and more, all available. Visit littleleague.org. Follow along on social media with hashtag LLWS. Jim Barber and John Gregory, we are in the bottom of the fifth. Time running short now for Kentucky. It's Jack Bile, his second inning of work. 4 more games tomorrow.
Leading off the bottom of the fifth.
2 in the Midwest, 2 in the Great Lakes. We'll start with the winner's bracket. The game between Wisconsin and Michigan. That's 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 Central. Bennett Holdener, who's the starting pitcher tonight for Kentucky, leading off. So after Big B, it's been Brunig and Sam Pierman if they go with the schedule hitters. See a lot of people swinging and missing at balls out of the zone. Are we talking about sliders or pitches that are just looking good at the start and tailing away?
Yeah, they're starting the ball over the center of the plate, Bile is, and he's throwing that breaking ball that's just really moving away from the right-handed hitters.
Gets a strikeout to start Kentucky's fifth.
That one he may have gotten away with. That was one where he started on the inner half of the plate, broke over the plate, and he's got a swing and miss, fortunately for him.
Now the left fielder, Ben Brunig, who has an infield hit and 2 at-bats. Right now, Kentucky needs base runners. This is the modified double elimination format for 6 teams in the Midwest and the Great Lakes region. So loss today doesn't eliminate anybody. The teams that lose today come back in 2 days, will play in an elimination game. Winners, in the meantime, will play tomorrow. Michigan may feel like it drew the short stick by winning today and then coming back at 10 o'clock. But hey, it's the summer. Kids are up early anyway, right?
That's right. We were talking earlier, if you're playing well, you want to get back on the field as quick as you can anyway, so why not?
Certainly. Having a great time. Spending nights in a hotel room, hoping to stretch the stay out. Bile just snaps at that ball when he gets it back like, hey, I'm ready to go to work. Let's go.
Give it to me. I'm ready.
2-2 pitch. Back-to-back strikeouts in the fifth.
And there's that location you were talking about. Started over the inner half or the center of the plate and let it go outside here. Let's see if this ball, yep, same thing. The one he got away with, he started on the inner half, broke over the center of the plate, but he's getting guys to chase. It's a pretty nasty looking breaking ball.
No, it is. Now Sam Pierman. Sandman at the plate. Trying to start a 2-out rally for the kids from Louisville.
Mix that one up nice. That comes back with a fastball, and if you're thinking breaking ball, no time to adjust to that.
There's the breaker. What an inning for pitcher Jack Bile. He strikes out the side. On to the Indiana sixth, and fittingly, Jack Bile will lead off. But it's his pitching in the fifth. Looks remarkably good, and Indiana's looking solid.
The inning, 12 in total.
Welcome back to our coverage of the Little League World Series on ESPN. This is the Great Lakes Regional opening round. On to the 6th and final regularly scheduled inning between Indiana and Kentucky in the final game of day 1. And Jack Biles set the lead off the 6th. Typically we'll talk batting at this point, but man, Biles pitching for Indiana's been lights out in relief for the New Albany team.
And unfortunately for Kentucky, they have left 6 runners on in this ball game, haven't been able to bring them around, just producing that 1 run so far. So they'd like to get into that dugout as quick as they can to try to get an opportunity. If they can set this Indiana team down here now, and the team can score a lot of runs. So you only need 3 to tie this thing up.
For Indiana, the pitcher, number 5, Jack Biles.
Biles typically starts a day at a field while giving his grandma the thumbs up. That's his good luck. Skilled hitter in this Indiana lineup, which is closing in on a day 1 win. A comebacker. 1 out in the 6th.
Got to field your position when you're out there on the bump, and ball hit right back at him. Does a nice job of fielding. He's impressive to me on the mound, just as we talked about before, his ability to throw different pitches. And now he's at the 20 pitch mark, so we're going to get a visit to the mound, and we're probably going to get a change here.
In the meantime, Indiana will set up Caden Reed as a pinch hitter. He'll chat with his third base coach while both teams have conferences. So Jeremy Pearson will indeed make a change. And we'll bring on a left-hander. Before we take a look and review Kentucky's Evan Beckman, let's go back and review our day today, which has featured, at least to this point, 3 one-sided games.
Leaving the mound after throwing 20 2-0 pitches. Daily Panic has left the game.
Started with a 4-0 win by Minnesota in its opening game, followed by North Dakota defeating Nebraska 15-1, and then later this afternoon, Michigan knocked off Illinois 7-2.
About the effort we saw from Mason Hoheisel from Minnesota. 15 Ks in that ball game. Big body on the mound, 6'2". Was dominating out there throwing strikes.
By the way, this is Becky G on the mound. At least that's one of his nicknames, Evan Beckman.
Pitch hitting for Indiana, number 3, Caden Reed.
He'll face Caden Reed with a man out. Beckman stands 5'4" and 110, considered either 3rd or 4th Kentucky pitcher. And Kentucky's got a bunch of them. And the difficult inning today for the Kentucky All-Stars has been the 3rd. An error kind of led to a 3-run hit explosion. Say explosion because that's been the biggest inning in this game. Good pitch by Beckman. It is 0-2. Sneaking a peek at the Kentucky 6, their last at bat. Ethan Dillon, Owen Rafferty, James Cameron are scheduled. Right now they'll need 3 to tie and 4 to win it. Soft liner to first base. Difficult play there for first baseman Ben Holmner. Did everything he could to try to haul it in, and that's one of those things you see in your nightmare, you know.
Boy, I've been in this situation before as a first baseman. That ball comes off the end of the bat, spinning so hard, and when it hits your glove, it's just going to spin away from you. The one thing you can't do, you try to knock it down, and then if you have time, you want to pick it up with your bare hand. Don't reach down with the glove as he did there. It's still spinning, or it's even more difficult to try to pick that up with that first baseman's mitt. So use your bare hand, and sometimes you can get away with it, but very difficult play.
And John, that's ruled an error. Second error of the game for Kentucky. Indiana with a man aboard here in the 6th. And the shortstop at the plate, Cody Jackson. And he is down a strike as they take a review with one of the umpires. No replay required on that, by the way. John, you mentioned Kentucky's had base runners, leaving 6 aboard in the first 4 innings, went down in order for the first time in its 5th. And it will need, at least at this point, a couple to get on base to have a chance. Ball gets away, runner on to second base into scoring position. Not a great deal of power hitting on this Indiana team, but timely hitting. Certainly in this game. That one gets away. Caden Reed now on the 3rd. And Kentucky must think about playing the infield in to cut him down. So what could easily have been the second out of the inning now has resulted into an error and a couple of wild pitches. Everybody in at every position for Kentucky. But Cody Jackson draws a walk. Wouldn't be surprised to see Jackson try to steal second base, and then it'll be up to Kentucky whether it wants to risk a throw.
He had an idea of going right there. He wasn't even going to wait for the first pitch.
Maxwell Alexander.
Here's Maxwell Alexander. Entered the game in the 4th. Retired the first time up. Runner goes. He will not draw a throw. So now second and third and a strike. Maxwell. Hit right here would really put Indiana in fabulous shape going into the last of the 6th. Infield reduced at every spot. And Maxwell had to get out of the way of that one.
Wow, that was good job getting away from that. The ball up and in. You could hear the fans here. I knew how close that was.
2 balls and a strike. Now 2-2.
So important for Kentucky if you're on defense here. Infield's in, but you got to knock this ball down. Even if one gets through, you can't prevent this thing from getting through the infield.
Popped up, a mile-high pop-up. And now 2 outs in the inning. Big out for the Kentucky defense. Not out of the woods yet, but closer to it. Well, you talk about how important communication is, and you've got 2 fielders going for it. And it's a little hard to hear at our position who calls off whom, but it's a good defensive play done by Bennett Holdener there for the putout.
Now they're going to get a visit to the mound, and we'll talk about that pop fly there. Just as we've discussed today, outfielders take control of balls behind the infield. That first baseman has to take control of that play right there. And if you're a pitcher on the mound, you got to understand that that's his ball and let him take over.
Another pitching change as Jake Schweitzer will come on. So Kentucky not afraid to go to the bullpen early in this game and often. Situation here with
Pitching change
two runners
for
in scoring
Kentucky.
position.
After throwing 14 pitches.
Another thing we talked about is they've got a lot of arms on that side, and that's a good thing. And if you're in this situation, one thing I always think is good, if you have to use guys like this, at least give them an opportunity to throw one inning tonight, get it under their belt, and get used to throwing out on the mound there, maybe a little bit different than what they're used to at home or during the state tournament. So just a different feel, so give everybody that shot early.
And John, Kentucky will still have a chance, but will need to get out of this. Opportunity for Chase Lush to hit here. Start of the game for Indiana, stands to win it as the beginning pitcher. Opportunity to play a couple.
But he talks about the pitcher on the mound, and he's throwing pretty good already with that fastball out there. But maybe the most important guy, Sam Pierman, behind the plate right now, cannot let the ball get by him to give up a run here. So key to have that good backstop back there working with the pitchers.
Very important in a three-run game. Kentucky not in a position to allow any more runs scored. It's going to be hard enough to get three in the bottom of the sixth in its last at bat.
I think a pretty good move. I'm sorry, Jim. Pretty good move by bringing Schweitzer in this situation, because he's a guy that can set him down. It's so important here. And there's that ball.
And a runner able to beat him to the plate. Landon Gum slides in. Indiana now leading 5-1.
And an important run there. And just as I was talking about Schweitzer's ability to come in and throw strikes and throw hard, but that puts just a little bit more pressure on the catcher back there. And there's that pass ball I was talking about. You just can't afford to give that up. And that insurance run that Indiana was looking for crosses the plate.
So Kentucky's task, John, now of rallying gets even more difficult. To have an opportunity to rally in the sixth, they're going to have to get at least three on board. Three on base, that is. 3-2 pitch. Toward right field and dropping. Chase Lush comes through an RBI hit. 2 hits in the game, and Indiana now leading 6-1. This team has done a really nice job of scoring runs, John, after 2 outs.
Yeah, they have. They've come up with some clutch hits and clutch situations in big moments and driven in some key runs there. And Lush continues to do that. He doesn't do too much with it. He just deposits it out in right field and takes the ball the opposite way.
Now batting for Indiana, the first baseman, 32.
Culpepper will be the pinch runner. Mr. Culpepper has been busy running tonight. That's Maddox at first base. 2 in for Indiana. Winner of this game, and right now Indiana's in position to do that. We'll face Ohio tomorrow. The winners come back and play immediately the next day, and the losers get a day off. And we'll play in an elimination game on Tuesday, the first of a couple. Indiana set to become the 4th team in this tournament in the 4 games we've had to grab an early lead and hold on. That one gets away. It's a drop third, but the inning now is over. New Albany pads the lead with 2. The task has just gotten tougher for Kentucky. Hitters 5, 6, and 7 will need a few more to have an opportunity to rally. Sunday night in the great city of Indianapolis, Indiana. Work week for most, starting tomorrow morning. John and I back to work along with our ESPN production crew at 10 Eastern, 9 Central for the first of 4 more.
Leading off the home half of the 6th inning for Kentucky, second baseman, number 21, Ethan Dillon.
Last at bats for Kentucky. Ethan Dillon to get it started. He is 0 for 2. So different mindset now for Jack Bile with a 5-run lead as opposed to 3.
I think so, and to me that means you can start that breaking ball a little bit more inside and see if you can't get these guys to just hit it into the ground possibly and get out of this thing as quick as you can. And there's the first one.
1 out in the 6th. Landon Gum handles that effectively. Indiana now 2 outs away.
For Kentucky, the right fielder, number 13, Owen Rafferty.
Here's OR, Owen Rafferty. Kentucky down to its final 2 outs. Hope you'll join us at tomorrow morning's starting time of 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 Central. 2 outs in the 6th.
Continue to be impressed. So we're going to have to get a pitching change here. Continue to be impressed with that breaking ball by Bile. And unfortunately for him, he's not going to be able to finish this game off as he's reached 22 pitches right now, so they want to get him out of here so he does not have to sit out a day.
It'll be up to the shortstop, now pitcher Cody Jackson, to finish the deal. In the meantime, Jack Bile goes out to center field to celebrate. And here's Cody. Got a fastball, a change, and a splitter.
Funny, when we talked to the coach about it, every guy that they named on this staff, we said, who can we see this week? What do they throw? Fastball, curveball, change, up and down this lineup. All pretty consistent. Nobody's going to overpower you, but all guys can throw strikes. When you got that type of defense playing behind you, that's going to go a long way.
We talked to skipper Brian Jackson about his son and said, you know, Cody says he wants to be a scientist. And Brian did a bat an eye. So well, that kind of changes on a weekly basis.
And at shortstop, number 9, Brian Wall.
But good ambition, certainly. Nobody on base in the Kentucky 6th.
Number 7, Ryan Marks.
And Ryan Marks representing the last hope. Grounded out third to first in the 4th inning. Kentucky's lone run came out of throwing error in the 4th. Well, minus that throwing error, Indiana has been strong at about every spot tonight. That throwing error was almost like a brain fade for the moment. It was really out of character for the New Albany Little League, but at this point doesn't look like it'll matter.
No, kind of a confusing play all around and just a reaction.
Kentucky inning remains alive with a base hit by Ryan Marks with 2 outs. Just the 3rd hit of the game for the Louisville Little League All-Stars.
The Kentucky first baseman, number 2, Evan Beckman.
Here's Evan Beckman in the 8th spot.
See Blaine Hamilton down at first base, and the ball got through there. Not a big deal. Got a guy that's going to get upset about anything, and look at his bayou. He's just like, maybe rather be fishing at times. One of his favorite things.
I like that.
Yep, not going to get too high, too low.
Please be sure to return all those foul balls to your nearest
Chance for
dugout.
Cody
Thank
Jackson
you.
to end the game. His pitch. Headed to short. Game over. Indiana 6, Kentucky 1.
For Kentucky in the bottom of the sixth, no runs, 1 hit.
And Indiana back to play tomorrow. Kentucky will have a day off and play in an elimination game on Tuesday.
Well, last year we saw a good ball game between these two teams, a close game. Indiana scoring a couple late in the sixth to kind of open it up a bit, but offensively, defensively, Indiana played a very good game tonight. And for Kentucky, they've got some talented players on that team. You can expect that team to bounce back quickly and be ready to go next time.
Agreed, John. So the Great Lakes Regional, 2 games now have been complete. So we can update the standings as Michigan and Indiana have wins today. Kentucky and Illinois have losses and work to do on Tuesday. And we'll start our coverage tomorrow at 10 Eastern, 9 Central. So the team that scored first today has won all 4. Started in pure sunshine. Lots of great fan support. It ended under the lights. For John Gregory, Jim Barber, we thank you for joining us for all or part of the 4 games today. We'll see you tomorrow morning, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, 10 Eastern, 9 Central from Westfield.